time no see. I'm Mike Walsh, and welcome back to CTV Sports.
I don't know about you, Mike, but those extra 2 days were way too long. I'm Leah Cackowski. Here's what we got on tap for you tonight.
The Rams are officially bowl eligible for the first time since 2017, while soccer and cross country also compete for huge titles.
Colorado State Volleyball returned from the annual border war following that same contagious win streak.
Plus, an inside look at what to expect in Ram country this weekend.
All that and more right here at CTV Sports, which starts right now.
And to start off the show, we're going to stay away from the big news from Norvell and his crew, and we're going to take it to some other sports that also competed since the last time we saw you.
That's right, Mike, all the way back on October 29th. But anyway, the first team that had some action was none other than the women's volleyball team, who had 3 games, winning their first matchup against the Rebels of UNLV 3-0.
Then the team welcomed the Aztecs to Foco, who the Rams also dominated 3-0, so pretty easy first 2 games.
Yeah, those were a little bit of a breeze, but after the trip up to Laramie, it still was pretty easy as the Rams took the win in Cowgirl Country 3-1.
In other sporting news, the women's swim and dive team had 2 matches, and they split the weekend going 1-1 with a win over Colorado Mesa just 1 day after their loss to Denver.
But that is just the games we aren't covering tonight. There were so many other events in Ram Country, and you know what? We cannot forget about the program who has been making some noise in conference right now.
We can't. I can't forget about, football. You got to talk about it.
We got to talk about football. They secured their 6th win over Nevada last weekend, which makes them bowl eligible for the first time since 2017. So let's take a look at this win. Starting off strong, textbook play right now. Avery Morrow running it into the end zone to get the Rams on the board. And then kind of shortly after, Justin Marshall getting his turn back-to-back. And this is where it gets crazy. The Rams kick off to Nevada, and it seems as if Nevada forgot the rules. This is anyone's ball right now. Caleb Goody out of nowhere and recovered by Jace Bella to get the Rams touchdown. That is a touchdown.
Just a crazy play you never see. And right after this, honestly, Nevada seemed like they were going to come back. Brendan Lewis running one in, but then you got Avery Morrow here, kind of putting the dagger in with 8 minutes to go. Nevada tried. They got another score here, and they tried a huge Hail Mary at the end of the game to no avail, even if they scored. The game would have been over. But once again, it seems like Norvell he cannot lose to the Wolfpack. Once he left the Wolfpack, he can't lose. But while the team numbers as a whole were dominated by Nevada, mostly in garbage time, that's when they got all their points, the Rams still had some awesome individual performances.
Yeah, Mike, starting with the player we seem to mention every week, Avery Morrow. Morrow put up 77 yards on just 18 carries while finding his way into the end zone for 2 scores. While he may not have thrown any TDs, Fowler Nicholas did exactly what was needed of him and managed the game. And the only other touchdown is the one came in incredibly rare form, as you almost never see a team score off their own kickoff. But Caleb Goody made sure that happened as he forced the fumble and put this one out of reach. And as I mentioned earlier, this was just way more than a rivalry win. With this one being their 6th of the year, the Rams are now bowl eligible for the first time since 2017. So let's look at the history of those bowl games. For
the first time in our college career, the 4 years, they're finally back. But just look at these games. It's not great. The last 4, the Rams have lost. Obviously, they had that win. New Mexico Bowl, but that's 2013. None of the fans of that team are still here. So it's really a different time for the Rams.
And talking, they played in that famous Idaho Potato Bowl everyone likes to talk about. It just
and you lose to Idaho? Come on.
And Marshall 2017, like you mentioned, that was the most recent. The most historic one of the bowl games was that New Mexico Bowl against Washington State. But just like you said, so long ago. So it's been a while.
So long ago. The Ram fans have been waiting for this. The organization, everyone has been waiting for this. I'm so happy to see it.
It's going to be great.
The Ram fans everywhere are they've been dying to see the green and gold back in a bowl game, but now they finally get it. The question now lies with who will it be and where?
That's right, Mike. So make sure to stay tuned to CTV for the rest of the football season to see what happens.
But for now, let's step away from the team in the back half of their season into a team that just started their season this Monday.
Colorado State men's basketball opened the season with a bang, defeating North Dakota 82-56. With a brand new lineup and few familiar faces, the Green and Gold took care of business with a loud and excited crowd. CSU came out ready to play, going into halftime with plenty of insurance points, and eventually sealing the deal by nearly 30. The Rams were outstanding and alert on defense, scoring 15 points off of Fighting Hawks turnovers with 12 steals. The team shot at 58% overall inside the arc. However, beyond the arc will need some improvement, only marking a 23% clip. And even though the Green and Gold had a comfortable lead throughout, the little things took a toll, as the Rams shot a below average 42% on the line. Before mentioning all the new faces, the returning leaders hit the ground running once again, as a highly anticipated fifth-year guard, Nick Clifford, did his job in every aspect. Clifford had a double-double nearly by halftime, scoring a total of 20 points with 14 boards as well. Jalen Lake and Kyan Emmons had a slower night on offense, but both managed to put up 3 assists and a combined 13 points. And now the moment Ram fans have been waiting for. Who should they keep an eye out on? Well, there's too many to count, as the bench put up a whopping 36 points. Keyshawn Williams is at the top of the list as a grad transfer from Northern Illinois, and he set the tone by sinking in 14 points. The Ram brought in some height as well, as 6'8" sophomore Jalen Crocker Johnson and 6'9" freshman Kyle Jorgensen each put up 9. Purdue transfer Ethan Morton was quiet on offense, but his defense made up for it with 5 rebounds. It's early to see who will be the solidified starting lineup for this new squad, but regardless, Ram fans should be excited because they are just getting started. They lace up again tomorrow night against Tennessee State.
Just as they did on Monday, the women's team will tip off just hours before the men tomorrow night. But before I talk about the last game and their upcoming matchup, I had the awesome opportunity to talk to a few members of the team and get their feelings on the upcoming season.
What's really unique is just our personnel. Everybody on the floor could shoot it. Everyone can take off in the fast break. So I'm really excited about that. You know, there's obviously true point guards, but there's wings who can push it up the floor, and I think it makes us really versatile, which is going to be really hard to guard. So I've been really excited about that.
I'm super excited for the season. I think the mindset is really good, and we're all like working to like a common goal, and I think that's really something that you can see and notice if you come watch our practices. So I'm very excited.
It is a challenging non-conference schedule, so I think we're going to have to probably be a little patient with this group. You know, we're on the road early at BYU. We've got Georgia in a neutral site tournament, so we're challenging this group, and that's because I really believe in what they will become.
We have a lot of fresh talent coming in off the bench, freshmen who are going to get some run. Brooke, Chloe, even Joe, who's older. They all bring great energy every day in practice, and that's in the first group. That's in the second group. I'd say Marty too. I mean, we got a lot of energy players. We got a lot of people who like to compete and could bring it and pull it out any night.
Freshman-wise, Brooke Carlson and Chloe Throby really seem to have found their stride really here the last couple of weeks, and they play with, they're fearless. You know, they just go play, and they're not afraid to screw up. I love how they compete. Their energy. It's been consistent. You know, it's not, probably a couple flat days is all since June, but every other day it's lively.
I mean, I've been playing for a while and I want a ring, so I would say that's the one goal, but also just taking it in for my 5th year. I don't know if I'll keep playing after, so just enjoying the moment with my teammates.
And then obviously, like, we want to win a title this year, so like I'm super excited for conference to start as well, and I think we're going to be well prepared when we look at the opponents we have.
And they love to play and they love to compete, and so any coach is going to like that.
I couldn't agree more with Coach Williams. Having a team that wants to play and compete is one of the most crucial aspects in all of sporting. But as I mentioned earlier, the women have already started their season. And while the men's team took care of business in a big way, the women's team had a little bit of a slow start on Monday. And according to Coach Williams, it was a molasses slow type of start. As this one got going, it was clear there was some rust for this newly assembled Rams team. Looking at the deficit at halftime is never easy. And in the end, the team was out-rebounded. Majorly on the offensive glass, as they gave up 16 offensive rebounds. But junior guard Hannah Ronziak said it best when she said they just needed a few shots to fall. And fall they did, as the Rams outscored the Dons 30-20 in the second half. More specifically, a much-needed 21-point fourth quarter. But of course, the Rams' leading scorer was none other than the preseason co-player of the year for the Mountain West, transfer forward Emma Ronziak, who had a game-high 18 points with an impressive 40 minutes played. But now that the Rams' season is open, there's no time to hit the brakes as the women tip off against Oregon State tomorrow at 5:30. Make sure to tune in every week to hear on CTV to hear more updates for the women's basketball season.
Baltimore, Wyoming? No problem. Volleyball took care of business for the second meeting of the season against the Cowgirls, heading home with a 3-1 victory. It was like deja vu all over again. Just like the first time these two teams met, the green and gold dropped a close first set but then quickly bounced back to take the next 3. The numbers are close as Wyo would go down without a fight and managed to maintain a .238 hitting percentage with 52 kills. But CSU was just better, as middle blockers were the reason for the dub. Karina Lieber and Naima Weathers both tallied up double-digit kills, as Lieber led the team with 18 and Weathers not far behind with 12. They each hit over 500 as well, making a statement for the offense of the night. When looking at the standings, Colorado State still remains atop of the Mountain West. Close behind them are both San Jose State and Fresno State, but CSU and Boise have the best records overall, and that's just who the Rams will be facing this Saturday in Idaho. There's only 5 games left of the regular season before the Rams have a chance to punch in their ticket to the Mountain West Tournament in Vegas over Thanksgiving break. And I know one of the other CSU programs was competing in their playoffs this past week, right, Mike?
That is exactly right, Leah. Women's soccer had an abrupt end to their magical season just last night as the Rams lost in the Mountain West Championship Tournament on Wednesday evening to the Utah State Aggies. This is the same team that the Rams lost to in last year's chip, so there was some unfinished business that had to be handled. Unfortunately for the green and gold, that business was handled by the Aggies. With a goal in both halves and 19 more total shots, USU just had control of this one. And the one positive for the day was the Rams' defense, as goalkeeper Libby Brooker put up 9 total saves. In the end, though, the attack of the Aggies just was too much as they snuck in those 2 goals. And this will be the end of another historic season for the Rams, with the green and gold almost making back-to-back championships. This group has easily been one of the best squads in CSU history. So I'll go to you, Leah. What are your thoughts on this end of the season, I guess, for the Rams?
It's tough. I really thought that they were going to make it again and we would see a championship with our time here at Colorado State. It's been so fun to watch them. They have such Kennedy Layton having historic careers. So many players on that team.
So many players played for multiple years.
Yes.
Built this squad with their coach. It's sad to see it happen like this.
I agree. And, you know, they still had a great run. And
they did.
We're proud of them. Obviously, Ram fans are as well. It's just...
Yeah, and they just had to play Utah State, of course, who beat them last year. You know, it was unfinished business, and Utah State was like, I got this.
That revenge game would have been awesome to see.
I agree.
But unfortunately, it just was not in the cards. So, you know, it was a tough loss.
Super tough loss.
This team does have a lot of younger talent, which is promising. So this can mean that the Rams stay in that top of the conference area in the next couple of seasons.
Definitely agreed. But as one season ends, some seasons definitely continue, and some seasons are just starting up. There is never a boring day in Ram country.
No, never. That's exactly right. There is so much to look forward to this upcoming weekend. Starting tomorrow, women's tennis travels to California to compete in the San Diego State Fall Classic through Sunday.
And swim and dive also heads up the I-25 in this year's border war against the Cowgirls.
And bringing it home, men's and women's basketball have their second doubleheader of the week, with the women's game starting at 5:30 and the men's shortly after tomorrow night at 7:30.
Come Saturday, there's unfortunately no football this week, but volleyball hits the road in yet another heated conference matchup against Boise.
It's such little time to prep, but we can't wait to keep you all up to date with these events. And now, Ram fans, don't go anywhere just yet. When we come back from the break, Brooklynn Martinez joins us to talk about one of our underappreciated teams here at CSU.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up 1 finger if you're a man, women 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Welcome back from the break, Ram fans. I'm Brooklynn Martinez. Now, if you didn't know, Colorado State cross country were champions in 2023, but knew they were losing a lot of their experienced roster, making it a bittersweet ending. Going into the postseason, they're the underdogs, but that hasn't slowed them down.
Colorado State cross country entered the 2024 season with a relatively young team. Nonetheless, has grown into an incredibly strong pack. Even with limited experience from their new joins, they started their postseason on the podium with leadership not just from head coach Kelly Hart, but some returning veterans as well.
Really exciting. It was a little scary going into the season because we lost so many people that were on our high-scoring team last year. So just the individuality that each person brings is motivating to me.
We were coming in with a new team, a young team, and coming off of a year when we won the conference championships was a bit daunting, but we came in with just a fighting attitude, and we knew that we could really be anywhere 1 through 3, so we definitely tried to go big, and we landed in top 3, which is great.
On paper, they were ranked 19th and 20th going into Utah State and Wyoming, and we weren't ranked at all. So on paper, we weren't supposed to, but we had a pretty good idea if we went out there and, gave it a good go, that we could go stick with them and, beat them in the race. And honestly, we would have been pretty happy if we had beat one of them, but beating both of them was a really good feeling.
Last week, both the men and women hit the mark. The women placed 3rd, and each team produced a first-team all-conference performer. The men beating out a couple of top 20 teams to finish 2nd. With Coach Hart and the team optimistic, it's nothing but full steam ahead.
Put it all on the line, and we know it's going to be hard and tough, and it won't be like a glamorous sweep like some teams might experience, but we know that we can do it. So on a good day, we're planning to go to nationals.
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is just excited. I think we don't have a ton of high expectations on this exact team as compared to in the past, so it's exciting to sort of be an underdog and get to show what we're capable of and what we've been working towards without this huge letdown if we don't accomplish our high goals. So I would say excited and fun and confident.
I want to say momentum. I feel like it's been our key. It's just been a key word for us the last couple of weeks. We've just been building the momentum, going forward and forward and forward, and I think that we're peaking at the right time, like we've talked about already. And it's gonna be really fun to go run the regional meet and try to get the guys and the girls both on the bus going to nationals week after that. So.
As our postseason continues, we'll keep you updated on the results. But for now, Nick, how well do CSU students know their trivia?
Brooklyn, while the weather hasn't exactly been forgiving on campus this last week, I couldn't help but ask the same question, and with the help of a familiar face, we put our Rams to the test.
I'm Nick Ortiz.
I'm Leah Rodriguez.
And we are doing Colorado Sports Trivia.
Man on the street.
For you.
What is the name of the QB here at CSU? I thought we were doing basketball. Which NBA player has the nickname Joker?
Oh, Nikola Jokic.
Jokic. Yeah, that is okay. Can you name 5 NBA players on the Denver Nuggets?
Yes, I got Porter, I got Jokic, I got Brown.
Okay, so Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon.
This year or last year?
This year.
Brown, I got. Oh no!
I'm blanking on a really big one.
Porter, Jokic.
Jamal Murray. That was what I was thinking of. And I'm not gonna be able to get one.
Shoot.
We got Jamal Murray, Russell Westbrook.
Dang it!
That's okay.
So, who is the only QB drafted by the Broncos to win a playoff game?
Oh, Tim Tebow?
Yep.
Let's go.
Elway? I don't know.
It was Tim Tebow.
Awesome. And can you name 5 NFL teams with a bird in their logo?
Seahawks, Cardinals.
Sure. Seahawks, Cardinals,
Eagles.
Is it NFC East one? Oh, I only got 2.
Falcons. And
I'll give you a hint. They just played the Broncos.
Oh, the Ravens.
There you go.
So we'll start off with a pretty easy one. We got the Avs have won 3 cups. What years did they win those cups?
So 22.
Yeah.
2000 and was it 1?
Yeah.
They won in 1996, their inaugural year. 2001 with Raymond Bork finally getting his cup.
And 1990. want to say 8.
That was the Red Wings. You're 2 years off.
And most recently, 2022.
Yeah.
Finally, Nathan McKinnon getting his cup.
Finally. Who currently holds the record for the most points in a single season? Was it Joe Sakic? Was it Peter Forsberg, Nathan McKinnon, or Semyon Varlamov?
It's got to be Joe Sakic.
I want to say Joe Sakic, right?
Nathan McKinnon broke it last year with
he did?
144 points. Yeah.
Ah.
It's always a privilege to be able to hear from our fellow Rams, even when the wind is hitting me in the face. But don't go anywhere just yet, because when we get back, we're on Pick'ems.
After 2 years?
You gotta be kidding me! Okay, no.
Robbie.
Seriously, do you have anything you can use against the dragon? I can do fireball, that'll do a lot of damage. Yeah, to all of us! Well, we're in a 4-foot group!
I'm sorry, what else do you want me to do? I can't
Okay.
Hold on. All right. Wizard, what do you do? Wizard?
I don't think I'm into this kind of stuff fully. I can't do it. Hey, I think I'm pretty anxious. I'm just.
No, we can pause this.
We can take a break.
Let me go get some water. Yeah,
It's another day.
Yes, we're good.
Welcome back for the break, Rams. We've got the games. We've got our special guests. Let's just jump right into some pick'em, shall we? So, Broncos country has a tough one this week. Mike, take it away.
I don't think this is a tough one. I think this is a pretty simple one.
Not looking good
I think
for
the
the
Broncos
boys.
had a game against the Ravens, who are a quality team, and they got destroyed. And I think the Chiefs are better than the Ravens, so I think this is going to be more of the same.
I mean, I just see Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes doing their
Yes,
thing.
yeah.
Like, I don't really see, our boys going in there and
I
stopping
agree.
them. I wish I could say I did.
Right,
but,
you wish.
But I remember you did say to Bo leave
Yeah.
last time, and unfortunately
different?
that
This is a
I
different
don't
level
know.
of team.
There's like 8. No.
Okay.
How can you both leave against
No, I
that?
agree. I think they might go undefeated. With their
Oh,
schedule,
yeah,
they might go
absolutely.
undefeated.
Last year they shocked the world.
Yeah.
The whole entire world who watches the NFL.
I think
But
they just continue to shock it by losing players, and they just get better.
Brooklyn, you don't look optimistic
The
either.
Broncos after last week not too promising,
Right.
so I do
Not
have the
looking
Chiefs
good.
just doing what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all from, we're all in Colorado.
Yeah.
But this is just a reasonable
gotta be
decision.
realistic.
The Chiefs are taking.
We're not loyal.
Yeah, but all right. I think there's a better game to talk
Oh, for
about.
sure.
Let's
There's
just-
a
let's
bunch of 'em.
Please move
on.
on. Texans Lions.
Okay.
This one's going to be good. I think both leading their divisions right now. Are they not? Anyone, please take it. Tell me what you think.
I got the Lions. I know they're away, but I think the Lions are one of the best teams in football right now. That is me. Are in the NFC.
Absolutely.
I would say they're the best team.
And
I mean, yeah.
they're
It's an
only
argument.
3.5
It's an
point
argument.
favorites, which isn't much because the Texans are very good. But I mean, I have St. Brown on my fantasy.
No, of
I have to
course.
root for them. But no, but actually though, I think Jared Goff is having a great season, and I just don't see. I think they can win on the road. They only have one loss on the year.
Right. They're winning the games against teams that you're like, this could be the trap game. This could be the game where they finally lose, and then they beat that team. You're like, wow, they beat them by a lot. Their offense looked good. They flowed well. I really feel good about the Lions. I think you were also.
Yeah, I have to agree with Leah. Jared Goff, he has 1,848 passing yards and
Going
thrown for
off, yeah.
14 touchdowns, looking really promising.
Yeah.
So I have to go with the Lions.
Only
as well.
4 interceptions too.
He's so accurate with the ball. His completion percentages are going to break records at the end of the year.
Yep.
So he's just playing out of his mind.
I mean, I'm the odd one out
Sorry,
here.
yeah.
I'm just like, it was a tough decision because the
Oh, for
Lions
sure.
are so good and the Texans are so injured. I mean,
Yeah.
Nico
Yeah.
Collins. I mean,
They said he was going to come back, and they're like, no, he's not.
it's
actually
just
coming
like,
back.
exactly. You don't really know, but I'm putting a lot of faith in Tank Dell
I
and
like
Joe
it.
Mixon.
I
Joe
like
Mixon
it.
is great.
I know Dell's not having that season he was last year.
But with these guys out,
Yeah,
he's been doing
exactly.
better
He's
with
got
these
to
guys
step
out.
up,
So I
and
think
he
he's
will.
getting there.
And I think this one was kind of a toss-up for me, but I'm feeling good about my pick.
All right.
I like it. We got to have someone to disagree
Yeah.
with us. So I'm not.
I got to pick him.
So to finish things out for the league, Steelers and Commanders.
Oof.
This
I
is
have
a
the
good game.
Commanders.
Yeah, same
Okay.
here.
Their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, he's a rookie. He's performing really well, just like he did in college. So
I mean, you could just left at Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
So there's no more to say. I know Bijan's questionable right now. I don't know if he's going to be in, but
You said Bijan?
Bijan Robinson?
So that's a Falcons player.
He's on the Falcons?
Well, who are you talking about? Oh, Brian. You're talking about Brian.
Brian! Oh my God, I
Brian
said Bijan.
Robinson.
I was like, I
You're
know
good.
what I'm talking about.
Brian
I
Robinson,
swear.
the
But
running
yeah,
back
so
for the
he's
Commanders.
looking questionable right now, so.
But he's
I
looking
mean,
when he plays,
yes,
so.
exactly. So that depth might
Well-
not exactly be there, but.
Yeah, let's hear the Steelers first. Let's hear the Steelers.
We just watched some clips of
We did.
the Commanders, barely beating my Giants, who are, 2-7 on the year. But I am going to pick Steelers on this one, just because, you know what? I'm going to be the devil's advocate on this one.
like
and
it. I
I
like
think
it.
that's where I'm going to go. But, the Commanders they're 7-2.
They're looking great.
They're looking
They're both
really
two
good.
lost teams. They're
Yeah.
both looking pretty
Well, I
good.
think
Yeah.
it's actually kind of a more even match than like
Yeah.
the Texans and Lions. It's my own opinion on that, but I'm gonna just go with the Steelers.
I'm going to go with the Commanders here. They just traded for, in my opinion, a top 5 corner,
Mm-hmm.
Marshawn Lattimore out of
Absolutely.
Ohio State. I mean, he's been injured, but he's still a top 5 corner when he plays. They
Yeah.
just traded for him. Their problem was cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
They eliminated that problem. I think the Commanders win this one by a lot.
Sure.
I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
Yep.
You know what though? Let's go to some college
I
ball.
like
Oh,
it.
this
I
is a
like
good
it.
one.
Let's take it to college.
Let's
Good one.
shift it over, all right? So Bama has a really big battle against LSU. Brooklyn, I want to hear
Yep.
your thoughts on this one first.
I think LSU is definitely looking for a bounce back week after their loss against A&M. I know pick'ems. I picked LSU.
Yeah, you did.
So that was an upset. But overall, I'm just not a Bama fan, and they're not standing out to me right now. So maybe that'll change, but right now I'm not.
I agree with you. It was for them to lose. I also had LSU, so that was a little bit of a tough one for me. Bama is one of the only teams to have a 2-game loss in the top 13, to have 2 losses on the year. So we've kind of talked about it all year. Is Bama actually legit? To me, no.
I don't think they're legit. I think they keep overrating them. And I'm going to use my argument from last week when I said the game against LSU against Texas A&M, they were at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Texas A&M won then. I think they're at LSU now, and that's why LSU wins this game.
Yep.
I just feel like you guys don't like me.
It's the picks, man.
Don't worry about it. But yeah, I'm going Bama on this one.
Okay.
And I think they're going to pull it out because of their rush game.
Okay.
I think their rush game's going to come out strong. LSU, okay, their running game isn't exactly on that same level.
Right,
To be
right.
fair, they're only running about 39% of the time.
Right.
But I think Bama's going to they're going to find what they need. They're going to find those lanes that they need, and they're just going to tear through that offensive line.
I mean, it's not a bad bet. I think it'll be a good game. I just think that LSU home field.
That's the scary thing.
It's something
It's the
different.
SEC
worrying
right now.
me.
Is like
Yeah.
what we've been talking
Right,
about. Is like
right.
if you're at home, I don't know.
I think it's
especially down
a
to the wire.
toss-up, but I also think Alabama just keeps getting overrated in
Yep.
this rankings.
I agree with you,
I
Mike.
guess we'll
I agree.
see.
Let's keep it with the SEC. Looking forward to another Georgia loss potentially.
Maybe.
I don't know here. I'll go with you guys first.
I think that we agreed on this one finally, right? Ole Miss?
I think so.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
I know.
Weird.
Flip it.
Historic. Historic.
But I'm saying Ole Miss because I just think you look at those top offensive players. I just don't really think that Georgia's compares.
Yep.
They've just been so dominant. Georgia has been winning by 2 possession games at least at most. But,
Right.
And then Ole Miss has just been blowing their opponents out
Yeah.
just all season. So
I wouldn't say all season. I'm also choosing Ole Miss
Most
here.
of
I
the
wouldn't say
season.
all season. They lost. They lost to Kentucky. Ole Miss has some bad loss on the resume. I'm just using the home field. I feel like Georgia has played really bad against certain teams on the road, Florida being one of them. Barely squeaked out that win last week. I think Ole Miss takes advantage of them not playing well on the road, takes them into Ole Miss territory. They beat them.
I'm contradicting what I said, and Georgia. I'm saying that Georgia is actually going to take this one on
Okay,
the road.
I
Even
know,
though
I
I said
like it.
home field advantage is so important right now. I just have a feeling about the Dogs again having that.
They're favored, so you are technically
Yeah,
in
and
the
I mean
right.
they
Not
are
a bad
third,
pick. Yeah.
and I think Ole Miss actually should be ranked a little bit higher in my opinion.
I think
Those
so
two losses
too.
hurt them.
Yeah.
It does.
They've been looking good the last few weeks,
Yeah.
but those 2 losses.
And I
hurt.
mean Jackson Dart having 3,200
Goodness,
yards.
I know the dude's a weapon.
So their offense is legit. We
Yeah.
can't disregard that. I just have a feeling about Georgia, and they're ranked higher, so that's why I picked them.
I get it.
I'm going to have to agree with Nick and Mike. I have Ole Miss. Their high-scoring game last
I'm
weekend.
going
Jackson Dart, he's been looking pretty promising this season. He's thrown 515 yards for 6 touchdowns against Arkansas, 1 game. So
No, he looks good.
I have Ole Miss in
This
this
will
one.
be a good game.
It'll be a
I
good
think
game.
At the end of the day,
But
it'll be
I
good.
think to end off the night, let's get to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We got Texas Tech versus CU.
I think these picks might be a little surprising.
Yeah.
I'm going with Texas Tech. They're at home. I think they had a huge win over Iowa State. They're using that momentum. Their fans are packing their stadium.
Absolutely.
I don't think the Buffs can handle it. I know that they're having some injury stuff. I mean, Travis Hunter just run his mouth every day now about how good he is. I think they need a humbling, and I think this is where they get it against Texas Tech.
And since we're going bowling, I got to jump on the Ram bandwagon now, and I'm finally taking not CU, but Texas Tech.
I like it.
Just short and sweet. I like Texas Tech here. Yeah. I just got a feeling about them. I don't think CU's gonna do it. I don't think they're gonna pull it out. Leah.
Still can't pick Boulder, and one person for you, Taj Brooks, 1,000 plus yards as a running back. Texas Tech.
Colorado can't handle it.
No way.
Brooklyn, you are the soul.
Well, I picked CU. Like I said, they're ranked 20th in the college playoff poll. So, like I said during Pick'ems a couple weeks ago, their wide receiver is looking really good. Obviously, Travis Hunter might be running his mouth, but he is good. So I have him just doing amazing things for CU against Texas Tech.
He's good. I just think this might be a week of humbling. That's all I'm going to say.
Let's hope.
Yeah, that's all we're going to say.
We're going to leave it at that. We're not going to go any more into it. We're just going to leave it at that.
So with that is all we have for you tonight, Ram fans. And we'll see you back real soon on a regular scheduled Tuesday night show. So be safe and have a great rest of your night.